I can assure you that. And thank you for not going to hibernation mode into your blankets and coming for today's meeting. And for not disrupting the hugs you might be getting, warm, big, hard hugs. Kindly put your phones on silent. Give me a thumbs up if you're done. Okay, amazing. Then kindly refrain yourself from talking about sex, religion and politics so that no one gets offended. Last but not the least, kindly walk across the hall, inside and outside the hall, only when you hear an applause. Sounds easy?
Yes.
Okay, thank you. Now the person I'm about to introduce he was born in August, which means his zodiac sign is a Leo. And according to Google, their characters are their national leaders, which you can see throughout the years he has been in Toastmasters. That is from 2005. He has been taking committee roles, all the roles, as if everyone's giving them very free, and he's very confident in everything he does. And he is a consultant with R&M Associates for around 3 decades. So he has a lot of experience. Kindly give a huge round of applause to the president of the Bangalore Toastmasters Club, Toastmaster Joe Scott.
Thank you, Shreya, for that uplifting introduction. I wish I could live up to that expectation. Thank you very much. Dear Toastmasters and guests, a warm welcome to meeting number 1454 of Bangalore Toastmasters Club. I call to order meeting number 1454. And I really want to thank all of you too for being here despite the traffic and the not so friendly weather. Thank you all very much. The minutes of meeting number 1453 was shared by our Secretary Toastmaster Prakarsh on the group. I request him to share with us today here some highlights of the meeting. Please withhold your applause till the minutes is passed. Toastmaster Prakarsh.
Good evening, dear members and guests.
Good evening.
Last meeting number 1453, held on 8 November 2024. The theme of the meeting was Stop and Smell the Roses. The word of the day was regale, means to amuse or to entertain. For example, whenever I get on stage, I intend to regale the audience, but my train of thoughts derail instead of regale. The word of the best speaker went to Toastmaster Sudip Maji. The best evaluator went to Toastmaster Gangaadhar, and the best table topic speaker went to Toastmaster Abhay Kothari. The best role taker went to Toastmaster Nitin, and the best tag team player went to Toastmaster Himani Pandey. There were total 28 members and 14 guests present during the meeting. To know more, visit our YouTube channel, Bangalore Toastmasters.
Members, are the minutes in order?
Yes.
Thank you very much. The minutes of meeting number 1453 stands passed. I see a few guests here. Can I please request them to stand? Rise. Once again, a very warm welcome to our meeting here at Bangalore Toastmasters Club. I'm sure you'll have a very enriching and enthusing meeting. Please take your seats, and you may reach out to one of us in the committee soon after the meeting, and we will have a short session briefing you about Toastmasters after our meeting. Thank you. Please take your seat. Have you ever wondered why an elephant that is so strong that can break a tree trunk cannot escape by just breaking that thick rope that is tied between its legs. Well, it's not because of a lack of strength, it is because they are conditioned to believe that they cannot. As a baby elephant, a thick rope is tied between its legs, which it cannot obviously break. But though it grows big and strong, it still believes that it cannot break the thick rope. Even we humans many times have a rope that ties us down, our limiting beliefs. And until there is a fire that is stronger than those limiting beliefs, we cannot really break free. I recall an example of a brave woman from Nepal, Sherpa, who had this very strong fire within her. And she kept it going despite so many obstacles and all other odds. Only because she had that fire deep within her. She was born into a very poor family on the slopes of Mount Makalu, the 6th highest peak in the world. And she had a lot of limitations in achieving what she wanted, an ambition, because she could see the Mount Everest from her village. And having seen many mountaineers climbing it, she desired to climb and summit the Mount Everest. The limitations were, girls were then not allowed to climb the mountains, Nepali girls. Though one person earlier, one young woman, Pasang Lamu, had climbed and submitted but died on her descent. Another limitation was she was not educated, and the community then believed that girls should not be educated. She, however, went to school because she had to carry her two younger brothers through the hills and pick them up and drop them back to school. Her father noticed her strength and he encouraged her. So she joined as a porter on the mountain expeditions, cutting her hair short to pass off as a boy initially. And then she was promoted as a kitchen boy, but she nowhere got her dreams of climbing the mountain. Then in 2000 she did the unthinkable for an poor uneducated girl. She mobilized a team of Nepali women's Mount Everest expedition team, and she approached the Prime Minister's office, convinced them, got the necessary approvals, and she was permitted to climb the mountain. In May 2000, she summited Mount Everest for the first time. Then her other teammates succumbed to altitude sickness and could not. But that was not the end. Sherpa summited the Mount Everest a phenomenal 10 times. Of the 6,664 people who have till date summited Mount Everest, only 25 of them have surpassed her in the number of times they have climbed Mount Everest. Well, even after that, her life was not easy. Her Romanian-American husband was very abusive and violent, and she had to leave home without any money and no skill other than mountain climbing. She had to clean houses and work in a superstore to support herself and her two daughters. Well, her 10th mountaineering expedition was actually crowdfunded. So she had moved heaven and earth to ensure that she continue to keep her passion of mountain climbing and summiting Mount Everest, because she said that is where her soul lies. Dear Toastmasters and friends, I think it's a wonderful learning for us that irrespective of any adversity, we can still achieve what we set out to do if we have the fire and passion within us to do it. Better speaking, better thinking, and better listening is definitely some of the attributes that would definitely help us keep the fire within us burning bright. The next person coming on stage, well, we've been talking about fire till now. He's one of the coolest persons I've ever met. Well, that doesn't mean that he doesn't have a fire within him. He wanted to become a good orator and joined the club when he was barely 18 years old. He then went on to do several roles in the committee as Sergeant at Arms, Treasurer, and VP PR. He had to unfortunately leave the club because he wanted to pursue post-graduation in philosophy and literature and left the country to Ireland. After that, he's been managing his family business, but the fire within him did not die down, and he has joined back our club to make sure that he achieves his goal of becoming a great orator and a speaker. Please join me in welcoming the Toastmaster of the day, the committed, the cool cat, Toastmaster Mahaveer Jain.
Fire burn high, flame never die. Fire is one of the most amusing out of the 5 elements that we have. From fire itself, we get the phrase burning desire. What does burning desire mean, according to you, Alan? Toastmaster Alan? Passion? Yes. So we have that fire, we have that fuel burning in us. That's what brings us here in Toastmasters meeting every Friday. Do you agree with me? Yes. Fire as an element is very dicey. It goes here, there, everywhere. But it's that very emotion within us that motivates us to achieve anything that we want. From, say, going on, people achieving big dreams, climbing Mount Everest so many times, to doing whatever we want in our own life. Let me tell you a story of a man who had that fire burning in him, who went on from making ganna juice to making guns for the Indian Army. So, imagine a 17, 18-year-old making ganna juice in Shirdi. At the same time, he wants to do something for Indian defense. So he goes on to study defense engineering for college while he's working in the shop, and then goes on to work in one of the defense companies. And he always has that fire to do something for the country, to do something big, to achieve something big. So he goes on and he keeps figuring out what to do, what not to do. And then he makes up a plan. He gets some amount of money, gets a loan, and then he acquires a company called Kavita Fabrics Limited. It's a listed company which was a very small market cap. So he acquired most of that company and he became the major shareholder and changed that company name to Knight Limited. So here is Knight Limited, what he did, initially he had no plan, what to do, what not to do. He had working capital problems, he did not know what products to be made, he did not know where I can sell, what I can do, he just had a plan. So initially there were few people who supported him via a preferential. So preferential is giving loan for the shares. So they gave some loan to him, and then he started his business, and they got allotment of some shares. So most people thought that he would be doing something in EV, electric vehicle space, where he would be manufacturing a scooter or some kind of business in EV. But this man had this plan for many years to do something for the Indian defense. So what happened was, he started doing a lot of research. He built a big team, and then he started manufacturing critical components for the defense products. How many of you have heard of BrahMos missile? So this company got the sanction approval to supply critical components for the defense products, like recently, 1 year back. Now this company has done incredibly well for both, like as a company in defense, it is just turned around, and the fire that was burning in him, from going from Gunna Juice to becoming the gunman of India, he's created not only value for the Indian defense companies, but also for the people of India. So now he's also being doing a JV with a South Korean company and an American company for manufacturing guns. So the flame, let the fire burn in you, and the flame will always keep going high. So that the fire within Ganesh Naik is helping him to be the man that he is today. And now even celebrities like Akshay Kumar, Sanjay Dutt are supporting him. So a century ago, Dr. Lal C. Smedley had the same fire within him to do something for the Toastmasters, to do something in public speaking. So he started the very Toastmaster movement. So we have around 15,800 members in 149 countries. A typical Toastmaster meeting consists of 3 parts. So the first part is the prepared speech part, where the speakers come prepared and deliver their speech. Second is the table topics, where you're given a random topic and you have to speak on it for 2 minutes. And the final session we have is the evaluation session, which will be led by the general evaluator, DTM Vijayan, which I'll be introducing towards the end of the meeting. To assist the general evaluator, we have the tag team, which is very pivotal. So the R counter for today is Viresh. Viresh has this quality to keep chasing on his dream, but he says that I keep falling back, but I don't give up. Recently, he's achieved his target weight by doing the workout that is essential. May I please give it up for the R counter of today, Toastmaster Viresh.
Good evening, ladies and gentlemen. Let your fire within ignite your speech on stage. But if you bring anything else like arms or any other hesitations, I'll be counting them. The purpose of R counter is, as R counter, I will be listening very carefully for the use of vocal pauses and French words such as and repetitive words or phrases. I will keep track of everyone and report at the end of the meeting on who best control their use of filler words. This evaluation starts at the beginning of the meeting and ends at adjournment. Thank you.
As the grammarian for today, we have somebody who likes to chill in the farmhouse in Bidli. He's from IIT, so very smart guy, who also likes to gamble. Sorry, that's the timer, my bad. So give it up for one and only Toastmaster Girish.
Good evening, Toastmasters and my dear guests.
Good evening.
So as a timer, it is my duty to record the time duration of this entire meeting and every part of it. So for today's meeting, the speeches are between 5 to 7 minutes. So at 5 minutes, sorry, my bad. I'll pick up the task. So at 5 minutes, I will be showing the green card. At 6 minutes, the yellow. And at 7 minutes, I will be showing the red card. So we will be having a grace period of 30 seconds, post which I will be ringing a bell. And for the table topics, it's between 1 to 2 minutes. At 1 minute, I will be showing the green card. And at 1.5 minutes, an yellow card. At 2 minutes, the red card. So, towards the end of the meeting, I will be reporting my report to General Evaluator. With that, we look forward for a great meeting.
Well, the timer and grammarian have a lot in common. So the grammarian for today also likes to chill in his farmhouse. He loves to collect keychains from different countries around the world. He loves to socialize, and he socializes really well in our team here. But then when it comes to relatives, he's like, no. But give it up for one and only Toastmaster Anand.
Good evening, my fellow fabulous Toastmasters and guests.
Good evening.
As your grammarian, I'll be the language-loving detective for the evening, keeping an eye out for the good usages and the not-so-good usages of the English language. I'm also responsible for introducing the word of the day, which is ignite, which means to arouse or inflame. For example, the words ignited fury in him. Please use the word of the day, ignite, and let's set the stage on fire this evening. Best wishes, and I'll see you all on the other side of the evaluation session.
Now we're going to start with the prepared speech session. So the evaluator for today's speech, the first speech, is very proud that he's gotten very good at driving. So before, if you had met with an accident, you know who to blame. And he loves to come to Toastmasters to narrate his stories, and we love his stories. Give it up for one and only Toastmaster, Prakarsh.
The member may choose to present the same speech or a revision of the first evaluation and feedback speech or a new speech in order. The previous feedback that was received was to slow down a bit, share the conclusion, and also dress appropriately for their time on stage. Time manager, please note, time is 5 to 7 minutes. All the best to the speaker. It's back.
Thank you. The speaker today works as a general manager in Cisco. He loves reading books, especially non-fictional books for self-development. Today, his topic is going to be rethinking rationality. I repeat, rethinking rationality. Toastmasters, give it up for one and only Hitesh, Soni.
Human beings are social and rational animals. Do you think are we really rational? So this topic I was discussing with Dr. Razik Manwani, and he said he was all rational and he was top of the game until he got married. So dear friends and Toastmasters attending this meeting, today I am just sharing with you all three stories which would decide and help you all understand how rational we are and how rational decisions become irrational. The first story is about a person. So how many of you all have had Diwali cleaning this last season? Right? So was there a material in your house which was kept for long and has been there for years together without being used?
Yes.
Right? So let me share you one story of Sam. Sam had an old typewriter. It has no economic value at all, but still he's keeping it over there, thinking that someday he may have use of it. All of us do that, right? So Sam took the old typewriter and he was keeping it, though his wife was against having the typewriter in the house for several years. And in spite of not having economic value, it was lying down there. Oliver, one of his friends, he came to his house. He being a collector, he actually ordered multiple fold price for the typewriter and he wanted to take it away. But Sam was not ready to sell it. This was because of a bias what he had called endowment effect. Endowment effect is an attachment to a thing and overvaluing it. This happens with us all the time. This happens with when you buy a house. You always attach more value to the house than the market value. Only when you get the house on the market, you realize that the value of the house might be less. So, because of endowment effect, we end up attaching more value to the materials what we have. The second story is about a person. So, have you ever heard about a person who was a great stock picker and made a big fortune? Yes. All of us hear about it, right? So here I am sharing with you a story of one person, one of my close friends, and he heard about a great stock, and this stock is a company which used to manufacture jockey. All of you know about jockey, right? So thank God it saves me of giving you the details of what is manufactured. Okay, so this guy was so convinced that he came to me and one day he started explaining me all the positive things about this company. He came to me and told, Hitesh, look at this company. This is a great consumption story. People need it every time. Any of you are disagree here?
No way.
Okay. Then he started off saying, this company has recurring revenues. People have to replenish the product every 3 to 6 months. Any disagreements? Okay. The third thing what he said was this company has a great advertisement strategy and brand value. It is awesome company. I agree with all the points what he said. And in fact, it was a great company with all these things. Fast forward 6 months. So he had invested a big sum of his money into the stock. Fast forward 6 months, the stock was down 70%. He came back to me and he told, Hitesh, what has happened? How can the stock go down? I told him, look at the revenues. The revenues are down 90%. He came to me and in a typical Rajasthani style, he told, अरे कैसे हो सकता है भाई ऐसे थोड़े ना कि पहले लोग दो पहन रहे थे अभी एक भी नहीं पहन रहे. Okay, so this person was caught in something called as the confirmation bias. In confirmation bias, when a person basically looks into something, he looks and he's so convinced about the thing that he's looking for only the thing which confirms his own belief. So when he told me those 3 ideas of why this is a great company, these were all things which were true, but he was missing out on an important story. So how do you overcome confirmation bias? The method of overcoming confirmation bias is through inverting the story. When you invert the story and try to understand it from a other standpoint, try to understand the competitor standpoint as well, you tend to do better. So this is the second story which I shared. The third story. The third story is about 2 salesmen who were so good at who were actually selling hair oil to bad people. And there was one person who was doing extremely well, and there was another person who is selling the same hair oil but not doing so well. So when they dig more deep into it, the person who was doing well went to people who were bad and said, there are 90% chance of you growing hair. And the other person who was not doing well was basically telling the customers that there's 10% chance of there's 10% chance that your hair might not grow. It was basically both the things were same stuff, but it was how the things were framed that mattered, and that created a different outcome. So this story is about the effect which is called as the framing effect. So the way you frame the story, the way you tell the story basically decides the outcome. So it's always better to frame it in a positive way. So in conclusion, there are three biases what we discussed. One was the endowment effect, having attachment and adding more value to whatever, overvaluing the things what we do. Second was to have a confirmation bias. So whenever you are going to confirmation bias, we basically have to make sure, invert the problem and see it from a different standpoint as well. The third point was about framing bias, always framing it positively so that we can get a better outcome. So thank you. Over to the Toastmaster of the day.
Well, we all have those confirmation biases, but some things we need every day. The jockey is what we need every day. So, if you want to be the person who wants to look at things differently, make sure you look into things invertedly through confirmation bias. So, for the next project, we have a very interesting project speech, and may I introduce the evaluator for next project. So the evaluator for next project loves traveling. He loves to go around the world. Recently he has visited Spain and Puri too. May I request his evaluator, Toastmaster Sudip to please read out the guide.
Thank you, Mahaveer. The purpose statements for this speech is for the member to develop and practice a personal strategy for building connections through networking. That's number one. Second purpose statement talks about the member to have some aspect of their experience better. Back to you.
Thank you. So this speaker has the fire in him to keep on giving speeches. He was the president of Bangalore Toastmasters Club in 2019. Presently, he works with Affinity Answers. He loves to be a good parent. Who doesn't? So most of his weekends, he spends time with his kids. And he loves to make resumes too. So if anybody is looking for a job, wants to get some special recommendation, you should talk to him. So today's speech topic is network is your net worth, it seems. Network is your net worth, it seems. Give it up for one and only Toastmaster Vivek Vijayan.
After I joined my job after pressure, at around 3 years, some of the people who had joined with me started living for better opportunities. Now, although you tell them that, hey, good for you man, I'm so happy, we'll miss you a lot, etc. But what is running in your mind is, what kind of raise did he get? How did he make it to that kind of a company? So then you kind of tactfully ask that person, where are you joining? And that person tells you, I'm yet to decide. So you think, you've not got a job. No, I have 5 offers and 6th one is running. 5 offers and 6th one is running. Nice. I was actually happy with my job. But you know, happiness is not dependent upon what you have. It is dependent upon what others have and what you do not have in life. So I also wanted that 5 job offers in hand. I did not want 1 job. I started applying. I got 5 job offers, but in a period of 15 months. And I didn't have that bunch of 5 job offers as I wanted. Now I asked one of my senior colleague, Gattu, what are these guys getting 5 job offers for? He told, he looked straight at me, you don't know. Network, man, network. You have to network with people. Network is your network. I'm like, Gattu, I should have talked to you before. Now I started my speed dating campaign in the network. I prepared myself. I had every weapon in the armory. One, speed dating technique is get the elevator pitch. Done. Small talk. Done. Spruce up your LinkedIn profile. Done. Everything was done. Then I started off. I was on an event one day after the other. Had the small talk, etc. Immediately connect with that person on LinkedIn. In 2 months, my network on LinkedIn grew from 100 to 500 plus. Now I started applying. You know, that mythical 5 job offers. Nothing really came. It's the same thing. One used to come, never made it, etc. Then I realized of the 500 connections that I had on LinkedIn, 300 of them, even if they come straight on my face, either they wouldn't recognize me or I wouldn't recognize them. Because it was all a result of one day standing. So then I thought it's not my cup of tea. Somewhere I had the inkling that this 5 job offer guys, I never had 5 job offers, but I left it. And years passed, and then I got into technology product management. And in technology product management, I and my few colleagues, we started a blog that was quite nascent at that time. And we started inviting really good people of the industry to come and have an interview with us. And we used to publish that interview. And they used to recommend our blog. And it went on well. And when I used to go to events, some people would come up and say, hey, you do that blog, isn't it? It comes up well. So the word spread. And in a few months, I actually got this mythical, not 5, but 3 job offers when I was not really looking for it. So when I was not looking for it, I got it. But anyway, it didn't matter to me at that point in time. If you look at it 2 phases. In the first phase, what I was having was a hyper intention to network. I was desperate to network for something to come out of it. Nothing much comes. But in the second instance, I was just focusing on my work. And networking was only a byproduct of it. It was only a byproduct. I was never looking at real networking. And whatever happened in the second phase was really good network that I really developed. It's like, you know, when you want to really sleep, close your eyes and don't get sleep. But you do something else. Even read a book or think of something else or even watch a movie, something, you just fall asleep. It's like that, subconsciously it happens. So what I really realized is networking is completely overrated. Whereas doing great work over a consistent period of time is underrated. It's not me just telling. There are great entrepreneurs like, you must be knowing an entrepreneur by name Naval Ravikant. He tells that networking is typically highly, it's completely overrated. That's what we do. So at no point of time should you really get desperate for doing something. Then it really does not happen. Now, going forward, if you look at 2 examples in this club, let's take Rajdeep Manwani. Dr. Rajdeep Manwani, does he do any networking? No, he doesn't do any networking. But because of his brilliance, he attracts people like the way butterflies are attracted to flowers. Let's take a completely different example. Let's take the example of Prakarsh, who's sitting here. Okay? A reasonably quiet guy. Okay. Now, does he build network? No, I have not seen him doing that. But does he have a good, reliable network? Yes, because of the consistency that he has demonstrated in his work. Okay? So, effectively, what is happening with these 2 people are not that they are building a network subconsciously, but not desperately. And that kind of network stands for a long period of time. Toastmasters and friends, one thing that I've realized I have had quite a grey hair. I have quite a grey hair, more than what you see really. And I have seen that. What I have realized is network is not your net worth. Your great work is your net worth. Believe in that, and that would be much more simpler, but slightly more harder to solve. Back to you.
Just keep adding value, whatever you're doing, and you will reap the fruits. So the next evaluator is someone that I always look up to. He's a champion speaker, a champion evaluator, and whenever he speaks, we all just want to listen to him more because of his humor. Please give it up for one and only DTM Rajdeep Manwani.
The purpose of this project is for the member to learn about different communication styles and identify their primary style. The purpose of this speech is for the member to share the impact of their style on others. Timer, please no speech is 5 minutes. All the time. Back to you.
Understanding customers in Middle East, Australia, India, and then understanding psychology of customers and coming up with a book for them, pictorial representation of how you can deal with customers better. To being one of the oldest Toastmasters, I mean, he joined in 2005, so I call him one of the oldest Toastmaster member. He's giving a speech today on the topic, communication life's biggest conundrum. I repeat, communication life's biggest conundrum. Give it up for one and only Toastmaster DTM Gangaadhar Krishna.
Am I audible?
Yes.
I must not start. Just like there are different leadership styles, similarly, Toastmasters speaks about different communication styles. Like one of the communication style we speak about is being direct. And that's pretty easy. The name itself says you immediately tell what you want, no wastage of time. So for example, Akash can close the door. That's a direct style of doing it. Then you have the initiating style. And in the initiating, you have to slowly warm up that person and then ask him and communicate whatever you want to. So let's say, is it nice to leave the door ajar when speakers like here, Akash, can you please close the door? And then we have what's called as a supportive style. The supportive is more like pepping up the person and then taking it and getting the work done. So it's more like, Akash, I believe you are the best in closing doors. What I mean is, you can do it softly, nicely, without disturbing the speaker. Please close the door. And then they are talking about the analytical style. Where, Akash, please close the door 90%, leave 10% open. The analytical people are more into numbers, number crunching, graph. That's what's in their mind. You talk of emotion also, they won't understand, but if you talk in percentages of that, they will understand. So it's like close the door 90%. And then the right door should be latched, the left door can be open. So this is the kind of people who find analytical style. Toastmasters of the day, guest masters, and to everyone here, wish you all a good evening. Unlike leadership styles, I would say communication does not have one particular
Because in leadership, you can have innate quality, and that comes with you wherever you go. You like it or not. You can't just change yourself in that. However, communication style is very situational. And I will straightaway dive into an experience that I had a few months ago. And I thought that would be the best way to talk about how the communication style can get situational. My daughter zeroed in on a bike she liked. And she said, oh, I'm going to go for it. Fine. She went for it, but did not see the more important aspect of the documentation of that bike. It was an hypothecation. The agent was totally shady that, he will put a safety pin to shame. It was so curved. And it was next to impossible to get the seller details from him. I managed to go to the RTO site and somehow got the details of the seller. And the seller was a nice, polite gentleman. He was very cooperative. He barely knew how to write, he just knew how to sign it. But did not know anything about banking operations. Anyway, he fixed the time. He said, go to the bank and we will get the release for the hypothecation. We went to the bank and we asked them for the release letter. And the lady flatly said, I can't give it to you because just yesterday he's taken a loan. I told him, you taken a loan yesterday. He said, yes, I took a loan, but what is that got to do with the bank? Sensible. So I went to ask her, how does that relate to one another? And exasperated, I said, okay, how do we go forward from here? And she very nonchalantly said, we need to wait for 6 months for the loan to be paid off. Now that's something I was not willing to accept. And I had to move into an assertive way of talking to her. And I said, 6 months, I just don't have the kind of time to wait. We'll have to do something else about it. And she said, oh, then in that case, you follow the 1-800 number and speak to the loan section and see how they can sort it. And in the meantime, I Googled on who is the CEO of the bank. And as she was telling me this, I said, given the scenario, I have left with no choice, but I think I would be trying to connect with your CEO and then share my experience with him. And that was moving from an assertive to a soft threat, you might say. And it worked. In a sense, she was a little bit taken aback. And I told her, I need to talk to your manager. And she spoke to somebody, and finally and reluctantly, she gave me his number and name. I called him with this poor seller guy, did not know what was happening, and was trying to coordinate this. And during the course of the conversation, and I was talking to this seller, the manager realized that I speak Tamil. So that's when we got into speaking one language. So I immediately moved on to the ice-breaking communication, like talking in Tamil with him. And tried to break ice. I even had to use a management style of communication. I said, listen, I plan to have a fixed deposit for 10 lakhs, but we need to see, let's sort this matter, then we'll go into that. Don't always dangle the carrot. So I had to go into that. But it worked because he said, okay, let me see what I can do about it. I said, see, the bike is nothing to do with the flow. Why are you connecting one to the other? It's just not making sense. You are not paid cheeky, this is that. And he was on the defensive, and he said, okay, I'll see what I can do about it. And to wrap it up, I took him to the agent, and so long as we were on the same page, I said, is everything sorted out now? Did you want to clear it and get it for me? But yes, that I will come on behalf of the seller to collect the release letter, so he will not be coming again. I don't want to put him in a state of no problem and situation. And finally, we closed that. So I had to move to various different styles. Move up, down, shift my gear, get defensive, sometimes telling him, thank you very much, you've been really helpful to me, and that's what I expect, you move into a win-win situation kind of stuff. So it was a combination of things that worked into the communication styles. So what I want to tell you is, you cannot have one communication style because communication you're doing is based on the person whom you're talking to. Communication is based on the situation that is in front of you. Communication is based on the urgency. So it's a combination of so many of these different kind of things that you have to adapt various styles into one communication or in one style. Take the example of somebody who's very analytical. He can be analytical at work, but he comes home, he had better be initiating and supportive if he wants to get his meal that night. Over to you.
Well, I recently got married, and I keep wondering what kind of communication style should I use with my wife? Because nothing works sometimes. Now we're going to have a networking break for 5 minutes, and afterwards we'll be having the table talk session. Now we're going to have the most exciting session of today, table topics. Are you all excited for it?
Yes.
Okay, so the table topic master loves the art of giving. During weekends, he goes to government schools and tries and teaches English there. He also loves to watch movies, read books, and he's been a Toastmasters for a while too. He sees public speaking as his passion, and he's been a regional sales manager at Zscaler. So please give it up for one and only table topic master of today, Alok Simha.
Thank you, Mahaveer, for nice introduction. Table topics for all of you present here. Typically, you'll have 2 minutes. I think we'll have a full 2 minutes today. I'll be giving you a topic. You'll have to speak in proper. We'll get started. I have planned a few sections. The first section is personification. So you'll have to personify yourself as the dish that I'm going to give you. The first dish that we have today being served is curd rice. And to personify herself as curd rice, we have Toastmaster Priyanka.
Believe it or not, it's one of my favorite dish and something that I, without fail, have it every day. And why? If I see how a curd dish is something that can blend with anything. It is something which you can just add anything to it, which will create its own new flavor. And I feel today's life is like that. It is like a white bowl or a white, everything white, and whatever flavors you add to it, it will create its own flavors. And we all are here to create our own flavor, a unique flavor of our own, than getting, instead of somebody else's flavor getting added to us. And that's why I really love curd rice. And also one more thing that I feel is curd rice helps you be, helps you cool your entire system, which is very important to drive everything in today's life, to be in a very cool-headed way, to tackle situations. If you don't need to be very driven or make very decisive decisions, you need to be very cool-headed. Otherwise, you will start making those kind of stupid blunders in life that how much ever you regret, you can never correct yourself. That's why I say that curd rice is very important in everyone's life. Be a curd for everything that you want to do in life so that you can add your own flavor. Cool yourself when you have to make important decisions in life, because when your system and your mind is cool, you will do everything right in life. Over to you.
Curd rice was here, it would be proud today. Also curd rice to you, Priyanka, tonight. Moving on from being cool to being spicy, we have biryani. Personify yourself as a biryani. That's the tip of the speaker coming in. Personify yourself. Toastmaster Akash.
I'm a vegetarian. I cannot taste the biryani much. Veg biryani. Actually, I'm from Hyderabad. And Hyderabad is famous for its chicken or mutton biryani or what I hear. But I never tasted it when I'm a vegetarian. But once again, biryani is famous for its flavor, right? It has all these vegetables and a ton of spices which you cook for a lot of time. And what strikes me about biryani and strikes everyone about biryani is the flavor, and that's what I believe that I am also. Like sometimes you guys seen as this calm, quiet person who likes to sit at the back and just relax. You may see me as this quiet, angry person. In fact, at home, when you have a little sister, I think you'll understand that. But like biryani, I have a lot of flavors within me, and sometimes you just want to enjoy biryani curds, for example, and raita. So that shows another side of me where I'm with my calm, composed nature. So just like biryani, I'm full of flavors. I don't think you've seen every single flavor in it, but I hope you see more of my character flavors in the future.
We really look forward to seeing more flavors of you, Akash. Let's hope that happens soon. And for the final topic in this particular section, personify yourself. Guys, come here and talk about yourself as that particular dish. Let's have Ragi Mudde on stage. And then we Toastmaster Anirudh.
Good evening, Toastmasters.
Good
Imagine
evening.
this scenario. It's a hot, hot day outside. And you come back home, and then you're super hungry. But it's a hot day, gone out, done the work, done the rounds, came back home, and you're hungry. As you're hungry, you sit down at the table, you look at your wife, you look at your mother, you look at yours, or your cook and say, what's for lunch today? And at that point of time, rather than telling you what's for lunch, that person who's made lunch for you comes out with a hot place. Puts that hot place in front of you, opens the lid, and then you see a steaming brown ball of lunch. Immediately, what you're going to think, oh my God, I had a tiresome day today, but I'm going to have a nutrient-filled meal. And you take that ragi mudde, put it in your plate, and then you open what's there for the curry, you see a nice chicken curry. So then you take a small cup, put a little bit of onion on the side, and then you put the chicken curry onto your plate. And it's exactly what you get with me with Toastmasters. At any given point of time, if any of you want to know the ins and outs of digital marketing and you want a nutrient-filled answer, you really want to know how to set up digital marketing, you can come to me. But that's what I do. I do digital marketing. At any point of time, if you're feeling sad and you want to get some spice in your life and you're just so bored and you want a drinking partner, you want to just sit and vent with me, you can call me Toastmasters. And you get all the spice that you want in that one specific way. And finally, after all of that, if you feel like you want to cool down, now you want a lovely meal, nutrient-filled, protein-filled with the chicken, now you want to cool down, you have some butter and put that butter in it. That looks like you feel Toastmasters. Just come down, sit down with me, and tell me what your problem is, and though I don't know how to solve it, you can always think, you can think of me as the person you can speak to, and I will be that cool feeling in your throat, and I will be your companion and your friend. Thank you so much.
Digital marketing with Ragi Mudde, what an exotic combination we have. Well, moving on to the next section of table topics today, we just celebrated Children's Day. So the next set of topics would be would be topics related to our childhood, possibly, or children for that matter. We have childlike or childish. Childlike or childish, and for his take on the topic, let's welcome Srinivas, Toastmaster Srinivas.
Childlike, childish. All of us have childish. Even we have some of our Toastmasters behaving childish. Look at my eyes, whom I'm seeing to. Rashi and Shreya. They behave so childish. If you tie a balloon here, while going back from Toastmasters, they wanted to carry that balloon. If somebody is giving a chocolate for the table topic winner, they wanted that chocolate. It is not like I want that chocolate. I literally wanted the chocolate. So that becomes childish. It's not like child behavior, it's a childish behavior. And also, this most commonly you will be finding with your partners, especially on the females. Reason behind that is, even whatever the ages they become, they always feel anger in the heart. It is not even a teenager, it is a childish. It is a psychological fact for all of the females behave one point of other type, even at their oldest ages. When they're speaking to their grandchildren, they wanted the childish manner. If they're giving the chocolates to our grandparents, our children, the grandparents wanted one chocolate, even though they have a BP sugar. They wanted to crack a chocolate along with their grandchildren. So this childish behavior, it's already there in the nature. Let us enrich it. Over to you.
When we started off, I thought maybe Toastmaster Rashi and Toastmaster Shreya would want to have a private conversation. But then at the end of the speech, I felt all the ladies here would want to have a private conversation. So, yeah, all the best to you, Srinivas. Close the meeting. The next topic that we have today is the English teacher, or my English teacher. And for her take on the topic, please welcome Toastmaster Jain.
So coincidentally, this teacher has been my favorite teacher all my life. So her name is Teacher Krishna, and she was my English teacher when I was in 7th standard. And the reason I love her so much is that one day she was distributing answer sheets, and she was telling every one of us that if you have any doubts, come to me, and make sure that the answers you have answered, it should be, if there is any doubt, only then come to me. If it is correct, don't come to me. She clearly mentioned it, and I don't know what I was thinking when I heard that. And I had some doubt, which was already correct, and I went to her. So she just she told me one thing is like, Jill, you're not listening what I'm saying. And then in front of everybody, she told me like, we need to listen, you need to listen. I got very much scared, and my hands were shaking. And I was like, I'm sorry ma'am, I didn't listen. She was in a bad mood it seems. She just gave me one tight scolding. And then I sat there crying the entire day. Evening happened, and then she came back and she told me like one thing is like, no, I'm not an English teacher, only your English teacher. I'm also somebody who want you to do well in life. So if you don't listen well, people are not going to take you seriously. It's not only about talking, it's also about listening. You didn't listen, So after that, I've been very close to her, and I realized there's a side of her which is a very sweet side. So till then, everybody used to see her as a very strict ma'am. In fact, she used to tell this about her class, that our class people, when God was distributing brains, our class students were standing at the back. And by the time they reached, all the brains were over. So she was the one who would always say such things, and everybody was scared. But then, looking back, when that class got over, I had a very important lesson to learn, that she has a sweet side. Over me.
You would expect English teachers to come up with such analogies that God did not build things. Typical of English teachers. Moving on, we'll have the next section, which I have called modern problems. And for the first topic under this section, the 3 idiots syndrome. The 3 idiots syndrome. Please welcome Toastmaster Srisakthi.
when you hear about 3 days, I think you all, first thing comes to mind is the movie. Right? And you see, there are three different characters. Right? But I always felt, that the 3 idiots are within me. Sometimes I behave like each one of them. Sometimes, I behave like, looking at the future, what is in store. You have a person who's always worried about what's going to happen. Right? And mostly it happens when I'm in a situation where I do not know, a lot of uncertainty and all. The other side is when I'm with my friends, family, more comfortable, not worried about anything. That's another area to say, right? Doesn't bother me. The other, the third character, right? Which doesn't know what to do, right? Just following what other people are saying. So maybe when I'm at work, I feel that, right? Sometimes I feel I wanted to do something, but at job you have certain things that you have to take and do, which you don't want to do. May do or may not want to do, but you have to do. So I feel that we all have 3 years in ourselves, and we behave in different scenarios.
Quite frankly, I did have this take on the topic when I envisioned it, so it's very creative. Srisakthi, thanks a lot for bringing a new perspective to the topic. Moving on, we have to commit or not to commit. To commit or not to commit, and for her take on the topic, Toastmaster Rashi.
To commit or not to commit. I think if I was asked 1 year back, I would have said not to commit because I wasn't doing anything. I was just going to college, coming back, sleeping, having food, repeating the same sequence. But I think since a year, I've seen the things that people are doing, the effort people are doing to make the society more better, to actually create an impact on the society. And I think I would really want to thank my stars that I landed in the place where I am, because commitment was there, but I think it really was put out when I was put in that situation where I had to wake up at 5 every day, do the job, come home by 12, and then again go back for classes. And it all seemed like so much trouble where there was no outcome, but I think I was just too short-eyed that I didn't see where the future was leading. And I think now I realize where I'm being taken, what commitment truly is, and I don't know, it's just so much more beautiful when you commit to something and people realize that. So when people realize that, they are so thankful to you because maybe they've benefited from you, maybe there has been an impact in their life and they've seen the way you've changed, and they just find it so much inspiring that, and then I feel like I'm just a 20-year-old, like what is so inspiring about me? But I think maybe I will also get to know the good side of me. So always come.
That was pretty committed towards commitment. That was a good take. Rashi, Toastmaster Rashi. Moving on, we have the fear of missing out. The fear of missing out, Toastmaster Sudip, Maji.
The fear of missing out. Right. Can you see a show of hands, amongst all of us who are aware of this now? I mean, it's a very recent thing, right? We all say that there are so many things going on, so many books to read, so many movies to watch, so many things to do, and we are saying we want to do everything. Otherwise we have this fear of missing out. But at the same time, I have seen that in my life, more than fear of missing out, what has worked is the joy of missing out. Is when you realize that, okay, You don't have infinite amount of time, you don't have infinite amount of bandwidth, you have a limited amount of effort. You should not chase after infinite number of things. You should go after things that you really care for, things that you really want to achieve, and those are not infinite, those are finite. So go for those and enjoy the joy of missing out for everything else. Back to you.
Then we move to the last section for today, which I've called the corporate conundrum. And for the first topic in this particular section, for your information and action. For your information and action, Toastmaster Sheeb.
Whenever we write emails, the easiest way is write FYK, right? So whenever the person who actually taught me about email etiquette, he always tells me, look at the context. There could be a lot of mails, a chain of mails, but what exactly you want to do? What is the decision you want from the next person? So he may not have all the time in the world to go through all those chain of mails, but go through that and write the context in simple way, create a context, and then you might be able to get the result you wanted. So don't waste your time just writing that small word ASAP as soon as possible. There is nothing called ASAP because your ASAP may be today evening and his ASAP may be next week Saturday morning. So be very specific because when you are specific, you are terrific.
We are on Friday evening when you are specific, you are terrific. Maybe your Monday motivation message to the team. Anyway, moving on. The next topic that we have is we are missing out the forest for the trees. We are missing out the forest for the trees. Toastmaster Ganesh Bhai.
This reminds me of one of my bosses. It was one of the favorite idioms, missing the woods for the trees. I mean, he would have been very specific, right? Come to get to the point, or you are missing it out. And he had plenty of this. You can just say, hey, be committed, this is what I do. And he said, hey, you can't be half pregnant. He could have just said, accelerate. He will not say that. He'll say, put pedal to the metal. If there is something very easy, you could say, hey, it's easy, you can do it. Ma'am, this is a slam dunk. He had plenty of idioms, most of it American, but I mean, whilst I will not understand what he was saying, but I would love to listen to them. And today, I'm getting to use it more often than not. And the beauty of this is, you come across as very sophisticated, right? So I think at times, the people judge book by its cover, without really looking to the pages and reading the content. So I think it pays a rich dividend to have a handful of these top idioms. And there are times, couple of minutes down the conversation, you can feel that someone is taking you not seriously. That's when you should start unleashing this. So all I'm trying to say is, at times it doesn't pay a rich dividend to be straightforward, simple, humble. I think you have to put up a nap. And if you don't do it, I think people will miss the woods for the trees. Back to
Looks like I chose the right person for the topic. sometime Ganesh should meet that English teacher we just talked about a few topics earlier. Moving on, we have a speech crafter having a take on this particular topic. You are an asset to the company, but Toastmasters here. Speech crafter is here. You are an asset to the company.
Okay, when I completed my graduation when I was 21, and later on I joined the company corporate world. It's been a while. When I'm getting paid, salaries on time, hikes, promotion loss, it's just ongoing. But it's like a corporate is like a vehicle. It keeps moving, even the one spare parts falls off, it affects the whole car, whole vehicle. So you're just like a bolt-on nut. And if you keep putting effort along with the company will grow, even you will grow. But there's a thing, you can always be replaceable, you can always be move on from the company and join the next organization. So always focusing more on company, love your job, love yourself, and love your work.
Some important takeaways for us again as corporates. One final topic for the day. Let me get back to you. Let me get back to you. Toastmaster Varun.
Maybe the last time when I was here giving table topics, Toastmaster Alok rather gave me a really tricky topic to talk on. And today again he's going to be the topics master. And he's giving me an even trickier question. Table topics. So let me get back to you. I worked at Ernst & Young for a year and 2 months. So first 6 months I was just learning how to, how the corporate culture works and how do you communicate with your clients, your colleagues, your senior managers. Then later on, the last 6 months that I spent there, I understood what my colleagues did to delay the work, to rather give the work to the senior managers to review a little late, if I may say so. So I got some work where I had to complete it within an hour or so, but I said I'll get back to you on this because I have some work to do. So I spent around 2.5 hours to do that work, and I spent 5 hours doing nothing and sent the report after 12 hours. So yeah, that to you.
Toastmaster Varun, wasn't my intent to put you in a spot twice in a row. But then it's now my time to say, let me get back to you. You've been a wonderful audience. Thanks a lot. This has been my time, Toastmaster Vijayan.
I feel like I'm on top of the world. But let's get the pedal on the metal. Let's get going to the feedback session. So the general evaluator of today is one of the best speakers I've ever seen or heard. He loves to go on long drives on highway and loves to laze around. And he is one of the humor king of our club. Give it up for one and only distinguished Toastmaster Vijayan.
First things first, thank you to Anand for the lovely introduction. Third Toastmasters and guests.
let's see how this meeting 1454 went on. 5:49, the young lady started announced Toastmaster Shreya walks in. And you know what she had to say? Today I'm late. Meeting starts at 6:30 scheduled time, and the young lady feels that 5:49 is late. And she attributes that to the weather. That's truly amazing. 5:49 is late. That speaks volumes of her commitment. She came, set up the room, ordered prep work, great job done. I love the intro to the president. He took his zodiac sign, Leo, and spoke about that very different twist. Lovely job, Shreya. If I heard you right, you said today's meeting will be a big bomb. Collectively speaking, big bomb means actually flop, failure. I think you had something else in mind, to be a huge success. So perhaps it was. And always, silent rounds keep talking about, refrain from talking about politics, sex, religion. Toastmasters International does not advocate that. What we have to tell people is, when you talk about any topic which is controversial, to rub someone the wrong side, offend someone's sentiments, just be mindful, speak in a tactful manner, in a diplomatic manner, or in a very tentative manner. Toastmasters never says don't talk about PSR. And while this is president, he's all roles in the committee. He takes all roles. I mean, people don't know our president thinks he's a glutton. All roles. Specify committee roles. This is slip of the tongue. Right apart, but the young lady for doing a fantastic job. Let's give it up. Go for the Prakarsh, I told him also one-on-one. I love the way he gives us the gist of his meeting without having notes. He speaks off the cuff, which is excellent. Today, Toastmaster Prakarsh, he just thought for some reason the engine got on the boil. Toastmaster connection, this inspires, right? You went bosses, colleagues, right? So what I'm saying, not on the boil, is I don't know, for some reason, if you look at the board over this 1454, last one 1453, and then Prakarsh looks at the board award winners, and certain, if you see the recording, you come home, you do an excellent job. For some reason, whether it's the weather or you're inspired by Toastmaster Shreya, I don't know. But otherwise, for Toastmaster Prakarsh, who does a great job on stage here and backstage with a lot of effort, let's give it up to Prakarsh. The CEO of our club, the president, is President Jose Paul. You will agree with me, these messages are very inspiring, very motivating, very uplifting, right, Jewel? We have Jewel as a member, but he's the jewel of our club. He's the president. And he's wondering how this is a meeting after meetings, about what now, 20 meetings, almost close to 18, 19. Fabulous presentations. Practice. Today, I came in at 5:20. I had a meeting in downtown Bangalore, so no point going elsewhere. I came here. And when I came here, I have to share this. I'm not embarrassing you, actually, I'm placing the pedestal. Our president was here at 5:20 behind closed doors practicing his presidential address. Now, if the president can do it, friends, what about you and I? We can take a leaf from this book. They say, right, practice makes a man perfect. Shakespearean language, we have ladies in the house, it makes human beings perfect. Our president has done a wonderful job. Your message, I thought, beautiful about the elephant with the rope being tied, and where we have imagined ropes tied, we pull ourselves down. I thought that connect was beautiful, for an analogy. And we thought it was very inspiring. Connected to the audience, you asked us what we can do. If that lady can climb Mount Everest for 10 times, right? What you and I can do. Fantastic, President. The introduction of the MC, pop boil stuff. Just one thing slip off the tongue. The President mentioned the rope for the elephant was tied between its legs. If it's tied between the legs, he didn't need it, just so much. But for our president doing a fantastic job. And before something we all don't know, now we have one more job last Snacks are provided after the meeting, initiative of the president and his committee, fantastic job. Now I learned today, this evening, that Thursday, one day prior to the meeting, he goes to All Saints, orders the snacks on Thursday, Friday picks it up and comes here from All Saints. He is a true saint. Let's give it up for our president. Then we have Toastmasters Day. Before I go on to him, I request the individual speech narrators to please come and give their evaluation of the respective speeches that they have listened to. First, we have Toastmaster Abhay. Round of applause, please.
It seems that the essence of public speaking is only in one thing, that is to tell a story and make a point. Mr. General Evaluator, fellow Toastmasters and guests, today I felt that Hitesh used this to his advantage and narrated 3 simple, relatable stories. And as per his previous feedback, he was extremely well dressed and his rate of speech made the audience follow his speech all throughout. Do you agree with me or not? Yes. So kudos to that Toastmaster Hitesh. Now technical speeches are typically very hard to follow. And I thought that Toastmaster Hitesh today explained the concepts along with the stories really, really well and made this point of giving you the 3 biases really, really well. And I thought that was very well done. And his humor in the speech kept the audience engaged all throughout his speech. And this was really very well done. Now all Toastmasters, I believe, suffer from the endowment effect, confirmation bias and framing effect until the evaluator comes on stage. Now, some observations of mine in your speech, Toastmaster Hitesh, was the use of transitions. You initially came onto the stage and said that you have 3 stories to share with us. But when you started the first story, went on to the second and third, you always said, now the first story is this, the second story is about this person, and the third story is about this person. I thought that was really not needed. So, transitions from the first story to the next story would have been really good. If I were in your space, I would basically just try to move on to the next story with a little bit of a connect. Now, the second observation, also from the feedback given before, was to give a nice conclusion. What I thought was Toastmaster Hitesh summarized the speech really well. He gave what the 3 biases were, but he forgot to tell the audience what he would like to do or how he has used these 3 biases in his daily life or how we can use these biases in our daily life. Now, with all this being said, the use of transitions can endow, the use of the conclusion can confirm, and the use of humor can frame. With this, I wish you a good evening. Over to you.
Thank you, Toastmaster. Then moving on, Toastmaster Sudip, we have a evaluation, please. Round of applause, please.
Networking is like fitness. We know the value of it, but the hard part is making a strategy to achieve it. And Mr. Evaluator, fellow Toastmasters, guests, and Vivek in particular, you showed us exactly how to go about that with the, I think, absolutely brilliant speech. The guidelines call for 2 things. One, building a personal strategy for building connections and illustrating that through stories. In your entire speech, you had a number of short anecdotes in your speech, and what I just loved about the fact that how you delivered the stories, and it was so passionately. Your eyes were rolling, you were speaking with the eyes and with gestures, your hand, you're like, oh my God, that person had 5 office. So the body language, eyes, everything was in alignment with the way the message you were delivering, and I would give you top marks or marks beyond that on this storytelling aspect. Now coming to building the strategy, your story was in 2 parts. First, how you feel to build up relations, profiles and all that. But your message in that was to build network, basically do good work. I think all the message was there, but again, just my view, I felt that you could have explicitly made it more explicit by giving maybe one tip of how to go about the relationship. That said, I think that's just a small speck of cloud on an otherwise frugal speech, which is definitely in the state of the Mahaveer.
Maji for the valuation case.
Fellow Toastmasters, General Evaluator and Toastmaster Gangaadhar in particular. Today you took us for a delightful journey of your communication style. Now what was so special about your speech today? Let me take two aspects which start with the letter A. One were your analogy. Brilliant analogy from all the four styles of communication: direct, initiative, analytical and supportive. You gave the example of Prakarsh and how to close the door, and that brought a lot of giggles and smiles to all of us. Nice analogies, and you brought all those analogies again when you gave those anecdotes about releasing the hypothecation. It was brilliantly done. Everything was drawn out beautifully. The second thing was I liked about this speech was the different aspect you gave to communication. You said you don't have to have a particular style, direct, initiative. It's all situational. So you brought a different dimension to communication, that it is always situational and you don't have to box yourself into one communication style. So both these aspects of your speech were brilliant. Now what could you do to improve yourself, DTM Gangaadhar? Two aspects which I thought, which begin with the letter S, should be brought into your speech. First, your softness, you're so soft. It looks as if you're talking to your wife. And I hope I had a wife like that, so soft. It happens over a period of time. You're one of the oldest members. So as it progresses, you become softer and softer. And I see you must use the mic. Don't get worried about the echo of the mic. It's better to hear what you speak in an echo rather than not hear you at all. So might we use the mic a little better, because I couldn't hear it being in the first row. Might be in the second and third row, they would have found it even more difficult. Be a little louder. The second thing is, there's a beautiful saying which says simplicity is the ultimate sophistication. I thought the story was nicely woven around. As a student of commerce, I know what is hypothecation, what loan are you talking about, but other people would have been confused. What is he talking about, a bank and other things? So these two aspects of simplicity would have brought your speech much, much better. Just to end, DTM Gangaadhar, today you took us through an analytical and wonderful journey of your communication style. Just a little loudness and simplicity would have made us all smile. But still in BTM, being BTMC, as a senior most member, you are on top of the pile. Thank you so much.
Now, the person who held the show together, Toastmaster Day, Master of Ceremonies, lovely job, Toastmaster Mahaveer. I love your stories, the breath work, the introductions, between speeches, you connected the dots. Very well done. Now, if I may have a few suggestions, because you asked me one of the most important people. The meeting revolves around the Toastmaster, how he or she conducts the meeting. So here are a few, a little more detailed feedback. It's not from Mahaveer, it's all of us. It's not like a panel, it's for all of us, including the biggest beneficiary is me. So here we go. To start off, I know the theme was ignite and fire and flames and all those different levels. Fire is the most amusing of the 5 elements. Sorry, I missed the word. Can I hear it correctly? That's what you meant. That's what I heard. It's not. Huh? Oh, slip off the tongue. Thank you. It's scary. It's finally amusing, I thought. Then we say, okay, we get ignited, passion becomes more, and then follow passion, the flame will become bigger. I mean, that's scary. You get scared, you get burnt up by the flames. I think so. I don't know what you meant. So the story is very nice about this. Was it Ganesh, right? Yeah, got the name right. Okay, perhaps you might want to repeat the name. Many of us are sitting there, I figured out, just wondering people in the last 2-3 rows might have perhaps missed the name. In the scheme of things, it's important. So, the story of Ganesh Naik, and then you transition to Toastmasters. If I were in your place, a nice transition. Now, Ganesh Naik had a passion, from nobody to become, manufacture items for the defense. Now, what about human beings? We are all here today because of late of Lars Simha. He had a passion that he, and something on these lines. Introduction to a very good Toastmaster Mahaveer. It was so good. Where's Toastmaster Hitesh? Huh? Yeah, I don't blame him because he said. He made the general manager also stroke. I mean, it's good. You place people on the pedestal, you make the speaker feel good. But now Hitesh has left the room. He has left Toastmasters because being a senior manager at Cisco, he's become general manager. Not any fun of Mahaveer. He gets the instructions right. Now, after matter of time, all of us become rusty. We don't do the jobs. I understand being a Toastmaster came only for quite some time. So just get instructions. Then he said, may I introduce the evaluator? I mean, if not you, who is it? He was dumbfounded. I mean, what he meant to say was, hey, request the evaluator, we don't have the idea. Got confused. Then, let's introduce the one and only Abhay. Let's introduce the one and only Vivek. Let's introduce the one and only Rashi. Let's introduce the one and only Alok. I mean, all of us one and only. There can't be two of us here. Then we need to stay here. Have something else. Okay, chocolate boy, Abhay. Analytical Vivek, right? The walking encyclopedia, Dr. Rashi. Something like that. Have a little.
He's a senior most.
Huh?
Senior
Hitesh is born because you framed him nicely. He left the room. He left Toastmaster. Now, oldest, senior most. Most valuable, most experienced. Then you're pumped up, you all look up Dr. Rashi, very good, even you. And now we have Vijayan Rashi to read out the guidelines. Suddenly, Ganesh should have. Small little cover. Ganesh, thank you so much for the guidance. You are being good close to Ganesh. So I will take the back and just step over there. And then the last bloomer that we had was the introduction of Alok. He tries teaching English in schools. I mean, his English is good. I've known for how long? Alok, 6, 7 years? 5, 6 years? Half a decade or more, he speaks impeccable English. And he said he tries, I don't know what he meant, but just it happened to be on stage. Just two small bloomers. Now, Toastmasters, I'm not being critical harsh on Mahaveer. It's for all of us. Because this role is quite demanding and he's doing it out for time. So let's give it up for Toastmaster Mahaveer. Moving on to the table topic session, where's Alok is there. Toastmaster Alok, the best part of the session, the 3 themes. 3 themes, right? Personification, the children theme, and modern problem solving 4, corporate conundrum. So I like the theme, very nice, well done. Topics were short, your articulation, pronunciation, enunciation, very good, very nice. If I make 2 suggestions. Welcome to Table Topics. You will have to speak impromptu. Topics is scary by itself. Now, Alok, knowing you are very good at table topics. Okay, Dr. Rashi is a god, you know, it's a no-brainer, he's the best in the business, right? He's too good. You are very good at table topics. So, we lesser mortals like us, get scared. So, little more tactful. This is a session where things on your feet, drop of a hat, and I'm sure all of us will do. So, our Toastmaster, senior most Toastmaster, Gangaadhar, what did he say? How you frame it? You know? It's a session where we're all learning. First theme, personification. Priyanka, correct. I mean, it's crazy. All of you know what the hell is going on. And I said, personification. Now, what happened? Girl, right? She left the room. I was a girl, right? She had a buttermilk or for chilies? So, if you take a dipstick survey, maybe 60-70% understood it, but maybe 30-40 don't understand it. Especially table topics, our heart is beating so fast, even if a train goes by, you won't hear it. It's not a very simple word. So people want to explain what that means. This one, as a tabletop master, is demonstration qualities. Where's our friend Srinivas? We'll have to go to Lord Tirupati Srinivas, childlike. In the process, you're totally confused. You told the two young ladies apart. Where's Shakti? Shakti became weak. And not 3 idiots syndrome. 3 idiots we go find something. Syndrome. This is like some psychology stuff. It was very tough. I'm telling you, Vivek, this is extremely tough speaking here. You got to simplify it, make life easier for them. And the final, last nail in the coffin, if I may. Fourth and final page, corporate conundrum. It's extremely demanding, extremely challenging. Now with these personification, conundrum, it becomes really tough. Symptoms. Just simplified is my question. The topics were easy. But the themes scared the hell out of people. The missing daylights. That's just a little easier, that's all. But friends, what we gave Alok for this beautiful theme. Toastmaster Girish, please do the honors and just hold it at the time. Round of applause to Girish, please.
So in summary, I was really worried will we be able to on time or something like that, but at least it seems that we well in the time. We have 9 more minutes now. So the first segment is on the role takers. Shreya, well within the time. This was on our time, well within the time. So Mahaveer, you exceeded, you took almost 11 minutes, exceeded by 1.5 minutes. And the second part of it is on prepared speeches. So prepared speeches, time taken by Toastmaster Vijayan, 6 minutes 28 seconds. And from Toastmaster Hitesh, 6 minutes 51 seconds. And Toastmaster Gangaadhar, DDM Gangaadhar, 7 minutes 15 seconds. Yeah. And on the table topics, of course, we did have overall 31 minutes, so we could save some time. That is, we also really enjoyed our Jain sir. So we closed around 27 minutes. So within that, I would say only person who were less than 1 minute was Nitya, if I'm right, your name. Sorry. Yeah, so that was right. Otherwise, rest of us were well within that 2.2 minutes time. So well taken. So yeah, so going on before the evaluation is on. So thank you very much.
This deserves a bigger applause. The new members and the guests, the tag team, the timer, the Arka, the Vivek, they are unsung heroes. It's a job that no one looks forward to, especially the timer, the Arka. Given at least more to do you feel. Extremely important roles. They are not given its due importance. I can see how this morning, you know what it is, and as well. Okay, that reminds me, Alok, don't get angry with me. See, we call this speechcraft, we had more time today, less members in the house, so we also call it speechcraft. The guest speechcraft is an 8-week program, a very condensed version of the Toastmasters program, and we're learning the ropes how to speak in public. So very nice to the President and the Tabletop Master give a topic to call the speechcrafters, be mindful of the topic. You are an asset to the company, but such a topic, the speechcrafter won't move with what? Speechcrafter won't do anything. So just simplify all I'm saying. Because they're coming to learn and they get scared of speechcraft. Speechcraft is a smooth, logical transition Toastmaster club. So they are going to be scared. Simplify it further for the speechcrafters and the new members alike. Okay, on that note, let's invite Vivek as the Arka. Round of applause, please.
Sudip sir, Alok, Anirudh, and fourth one is Sheeb. Thank you.
Thank you, Toastmaster. So, say people have this more than 5. You say 10, they don't understand you there. Let's say I want to improve. If you Toastmaster will exceed the 5 count, you want to keep that in mind. Let's invite our women Toastmaster, Anand. Round of applause, please.
It's great meeting when the good usages outweigh the not so good usages. So some of the good usages or interesting ways of expressing oneself was regale instead of derail, move heaven and earth, great work is your net worth, zeroed in, put a safety pin to shame, exasperated, nonchalantly, dangle the carrot. When you are specific, you are terrific, pedal on the metal, off the cuff, top of the pile. Now here are some not so good usages. Let me share you should have been, let me share with you. Grandchildren should have been grandchildren. Tight scolding should have been stern or harsh scolding. Given the context, in your space should have been in your place. Maybe it had to do with the rain, but nobody used the word of the day, ignite.
Before I sign off and give it to GMOD, 15th November, very, very special day in my life. You wondering why? 15th November 2002, 20 years ago, it also happened to be a Friday. Yes, it was a marriage of sorts. I walked into Bangalore Toastmasters for the first time on the 15th of November 2002. When he asked me to be the G, I didn't realize when I said yes then, when you asked me about 7 days ago. 3-4 days ago I saw the date and it's just, it's just a good place. So I want to thank all the members who were members of the club, have left the club for different reasons, all the members who are currently a part of Bangalore Toastmasters, who have helped me, who are helping, and will help me in the future. Whatever I'm in life, it's only because of Bangalore Toastmasters. With this, back to the team.
So now we have the voting for the best speaker, best table topic for the best vote takers, and the password for the voting is SPARK, SPARK, all lower case. With this, I end my today's role. So, as a TOASTMASTER, one of the things I learned is stay hungry, stay foolish. And thank you, committee, for offering this opportunity. Over to you.
Thank you, Mahaveer, and all the other vote takers. I think we need to give them all a thunderous round of applause. When you're casting your votes, a few announcements. One is the elections for the forthcoming committee will be held on 6th December. We would be notifying the election committee in the next couple of days. One request is, I think it's our responsibility to help and support the club by taking up the responsibilities of the ExCom. I would request all members who are able to devote their time and effort to please do so. There is one important thing that I would say is about we learn a lot, but there is an aspect of service that I think is very important that we need to have while standing for elections. I think that should be borne in mind, because if we do not have the time and effort, may I even tell that there could be people who want this in their LinkedIn profile or something. So please refrain from standing in the committee for that reason, because we need to support the club and we need to be totally dedicated to that. So yes, there would be some amount of sacrifice that we need to do. We need to be prepared for that. But we learn a lot of things like delegation, time management, all these aspects we learn by being on the committee. So while we put in our efforts, these are some things that we have as takeaway being in the committee. So while we are taking away so many learnings, I would suggest that please keep this in mind, that you are there to serve the club and its members. Two members have completed their levels today. Wish to congratulate them and honor them today with the certificate. First, Toastmaster Vijayan for achieving level 3 of the We have Toastmaster Hitesh, who completed level 1 of the path presentation mastery. I think the best auxiliary role taker award goes to our Rannorey Toastmaster Anand. The best table topic speaker award, who inspired us to have corporate conundrums, the idioms. Toastmaster Ganesh Pai. The best evaluator award, well, he always has a goal at the end of his evaluation, which sums up and summarizes the entire evaluation, and it's a master class in evaluation always. The DTM Dr. Rashi Manwani. The best role taker award, well, I think it took a lot of time today, but then it was really worth it. DTM Vijayan Anand. The best speaker award goes to this wonderful speaker who told us that our net worth is the good work that we do and not the net work. Toastmaster Vivek. All the other winners, please come on stage with your certificates for a photograph. are being served. I request all the guests to please collect their snacks, and we will have a small session on introduction to Toastmasters just outside by one of our committee members. And meanwhile, I request all the members to please stay back and network. Yeah, it will be worth it. Thank you. I adjourn meeting number 145.